Welcome back to another analysis video. This analysis is for the week of August 10th, 2025. As always, we will start our analysis with a review of last week's price action and then move forward. So here we have the daily chart here, and as you can see, we had our bullish move. If you recall, in the analysis for this week's price action, I was initially calling for lower prices in here. And I had said if it were to go higher, it would need to do it right here, where it's at. This was the close of that candle on Friday when I made that analysis. And right on the open, it rallied and it moved higher. Did not even try to go below that low there, or even try to go for this level here. So it immediately moved higher upon the open and going forward into the week. So I knew right then and there that it was going to be a bullish week, and we should be targeting 24,057. I would expect this to be hit pretty soon now. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and move into the hourly chart. Alright, moving into the hourly chart here. We see the opening for the week. Again, did not even go below the low here and travel down to 22,599 and sweep that level there. It immediately just repriced higher. That told me that it's going to be a bullish week. And if you recall in the previous analysis video that I did for this week, I clearly stated that if it were to move higher and get right back in sync with the bullish trend, it would need to do it right here. And it did just that. Had we gone to this level here, it may have meandered in here for a little bit, consolidated, and would have taken a little longer to get back here. Not that it wasn't going to do that, it would have just taken perhaps a little longer, but that the fact that it repriced immediately out of the gate let me know that it's pretty bullish, and again, we should be targeting 24,057 in the near future. But we'll talk more about that after the review. Alright, now we're in the 15-minute chart. Again, just a more detailed and refined view compared to the hourly chart. The open over here, the rally up, and again, I have to emphasize the initial rally up right off of the open, right out of the gate, and trading higher. We've already hit 814 here, so I would expect the high formed back here to be taken out. However, it's just nice to see that once again, as per usual, the analysis pans out accordingly as how I said it would. And that's what it's all about, being consistent. That's what you want as a trader. And so, over time, as this channel grows, I'm going to try to convey that, the idea of being consistent, the majority of the time, will eventually lead to a profitable result and a good result, rather than you spinning your wheels consistently and trying to figure out things. So again, as this channel grows, we'll dive into more details and what actually makes these markets function and tick. Alright, we're back on our daily chart and moving into the weekly analysis for the upcoming week as to what I expect. As I've stated before, the overall objective is 24,057, and I still believe that's where price is going. We have left the middle of this range here, and now we should see quick movement, explosive movement to 24,057. This area in here, which again, as I've stated in previous analysis videos, is a stop run area relative to the 24,057 level. It has to really go through that with aggression. If it starts to meander in here, it could retrace back down to the top of this level and even into here. So it really needs to speed up in here and not really see this area as a roadblock. I believe that's what we'll do, is it's just going to speed through here into 24,057. So that would be the goal for this week, is to hit that level or get very close to it and speed through aggressively through this area in here. Again, I don't want to see it act as a roadblock or any sort of resistance in here. So that's what I'm expecting. Now moving into our hourly chart, you can see again a more detailed view of where we're currently at in price. Again, notice how it's just trending up. So this is very indicative of, a bullish trend. And again, I do want to see this level hit. What I don't like, however, is that once this level is hit, it'll be interesting to see what type of reaction that'll cause, and maybe we might get some sweep out of all these lows in here, but it needs to hit this objective preferably first. Before doing that, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. The objective this week is 24,057, or very close to it. If we run this high and then we start trading lower out of this area, it may want to come back in here. It's all about engaging what price is doing at the present moment and seeing how it's behaving. Because you can have an objective like I have up here, but it may not get to it in a quick fashion like I want it to. It may start doing things that it shouldn't be doing, and it may do other things like come back into here after taking out this high. So realistically, our first objective should be this high back here, reaching for 24,057. I believe that is a reasonable objective, and we also have to engage equilibrium about the middle of this range in here to see how we react in there. So again, it's all about just watching how price behaves, seeing what it does. The overall objective being 24,057, which I've been calling for some time now. And now, lastly, onto our 15-minute chart, a more detailed view compared to that of the hourly chart. This is the area that I want to see price really accelerate through and see 24,057. That's what I'm looking for this week. If we start to hesitate in this area, again, it may want to leave it. I don't see that happening. What I had forgot to mention in previous slides on the hourly chart and on our daily chart for this weekly analysis was that this week is CPI week. Okay, so CPI brings a lot of volatility into the market. I would like to see that volatility be used to propel this thing higher into 24,057. What it may do is it may form a large wick lower and then propel it higher. So we'll gauge it at that time. CPI news is generally a wild card. I can't predict where they're going to reprice it first before ultimately repricing it higher. That's where I believe price is going, is higher. So CPI this week, I want to see a good amount of movement in here higher. Not using this area as a barrier, so to speak, just getting through it. That's my objective for the week. And again, we take it one area at a time. So while the main objective is 24,057, the middle of this range would be another roadblock, so to speak, and we have to gauge how we behave in there. So that's what I'll be doing. You as a trader are always engaging price and how it's behaving at the current moment gauging how it's behaving in the current time parameter that you're in and the price level that you're at. It's about time and price. And as the year progresses and as this channel grows, we'll dive more into time and price theory as to what may not have been touched on from ICT and others. So with that being said, that's going to conclude the weekly analysis for the week of August 10th, 2025. Take care, and God bless.